Hello guys. Now, um, I do have a potential problem with my internet because it went out again before this stream, just like it did yesterday. So I did call my internet providers again. Um, but yeah, now they're doing like a case, I guess, or whatever they called it, on my internet. They'll be monitoring for a while, seeing if they can find a specific problem, and if they can't, they will just send out a technician. So I do hope, like it's a really annoying time that this is happening during all the like the early Smite 2 tournament stuff. Not to mention like scrimming and I guess just playing a lot of ranked at the moment. So the potential of just suddenly losing internet is stressing me out. But I hope for the best. I hope for the best. Nothing to do but just hope it doesn't actually go out at important moments. Like it worked just fine yesterday. Like even though I tweeted out, like my internet went out right before I wanted to start streaming, and I was like, dude, I don't want to deal with this shit again. Today I decided to do it nonetheless. So if it goes out, it goes out. But yesterday my internet worked perfectly pretty much all the way through until I guess earlier today. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's really frustrating. Like I got a new router as well. That was obviously not the problem. My router was just fine before. I'll just have to I just have to hope things work out. Hopefully they can see something soon, and if they don't, hopefully the technician can. It's weird though, like it's not like it's like unstable all the time. It just suddenly loses connection for some reason. It don't make sense. Now I can see that I queued at a rough time with the elite rank queue here. Because I might have just missed the big queue. They still have not fixed the leaderboards. Iris, fix it. I am tempted though to just run casuals today just because of my internet, my potential internet issues. Just get some worshippers. I'll probably do it if I have to wait too long for this queue. Like if it goes past like, I don't know, if we hit like 10 minutes, I'll probably end up going for I guess just the other rank queue. I don't think I need to necessarily go casuals, but I'll go for the smaller rank queue. I do need to get my Modred to rank 10. And slowly working my way there. And I can't roleplay him much in ranked. In like the elite queue at least, because he's just kind of not great. He's a bit rough to pull off. The Mordred is kind of weak. He's decent in lane though. He just doesn't do well into the top solos. He struggles against Fenrir, Odin. I don't know actually if he struggles against Alma. I haven't tried the matchup, but I could see him struggling against Alma as well. Because she's just gonna heal up, that's the problem. She has so much fucking sustain. He won't be able to deal with it. And he's not really one of those gods where you can just wait for late game and expect him to be like a team fight monster like you're gonna expect from like Hades or Chuck, who will also probably lose lane to a lot of stuff. So Mordor is just a bit weird. Like he doesn't really fit anywhere at the moment. He's a lot of fun to play though, so it kind of sucks. I wish he was a bit better. And I'm not really even really sure what they could do to make him good, because his kit is just kind of bad in competitive. I feel like he's got low mobility, and as a result, it's just easy to gank, easy to focus down in team fights, even if he's full tank. Um, and like his laning is just he doesn't have any way to interrupt like big abilities. Like if he gets burped by Bacchus or I don't know, charged by the Odin 3 or something like that, he can't interrupt them either. He just kind of has to take it to the face. It's yeah. Like he doesn't even have any CC himself outside of his big ult, but you can't rely on that because it's so fucking hard to hit. He just lacks something. I feel like he needs like a CC. They gotta give him the who did they change and just give them a stun? Was it just like yeah, like Erlang, just how they gave Erlang back the knock up on his 3? Just give him some kind of CC, man. I don't know what they should do though, because you could easily make him broken if you give him his really good CC. I don't know. Damn. Yeah, I really did miss the big Q. That's unfortunate. Okay, yeah, dude, yeah, they're a minute and a half in queue now, or in game. Yikes. Yeah, I'll still give it 10 minutes. If it doesn't pop before 10 minutes, I'll go for the smaller rank queue. Then I'll just keep an eye on I'll keep an eye on Nika's stream here as well to see if I can catch the elite queue. But at least while streaming, I don't want to just sit and do nothing. It's not looking good. Alright. Fuck it then. Rank conquest it is. Hopefully this queue isn't gonna be as long. Otherwise I'm cooked. I'm just hoping it's less than a minute. Yeah, this queue is just less than a minute. We need more people to play the game so that there are more people above 3.2k so that the elite queue isn't dead. At least I got solo. At this point, you never know anymore. Because I'm still pretty sure Elo is bugged. Okay, I feel like I should be at the top in these games. What to play though? Because I could just try hard and go for something like Fenrir or Odin. But at the same time, I'm not sure I want to do that. This is my chance to play something unconventional. Oh, their comp is something I hate. God damn. What an annoying comp. I would actually rather deal with Susano than Fenrir. I hope they just pick Susano instead. Oh no. I jinxed it. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really like my options here. I mean, I guess I could just do armor. Get some more practice on armor, but I'm kind of feeling Hades though. I'll grab Hades. Like, against Odin, Fenrir, assuming it's jungle and solo, I have to sit back either way. I'll just pick something that will show up later then. I do like the small changes they made to Hades' model. I feel like it's way easier now to tell that this is his actual like body underneath, where before it was just kind of blending into the rest of his design. I don't think I ever realized it was his actual body below the armor there. But that could also just be me being unaware of it. I feel like I would have noticed. Not to mention they added his bident here. I don't know if I still want to do Sands of Time on him. I don't know, I feel like it's the best option for him. Sands of Time is just kind of weird. It's a bit of a weird starter, I think. Because it still feels kind of weak. But like, what else would you even go on him? Like, Conduit it does not fit his kit at all. I don't think I want to do Bluestone. Though I do think you could. If you really wanted to, I actually think Bluestone Hades could work out just fine. It also means you can box a bit with autos. But no, for the most part you still want to be ability based going into team fighting, so I don't really recommend it. Not sure what Chuck's running around doing. Looking to steal red buff, I guess. He doesn't have Sunder though. Odin's taking a lot of poke. He doesn't have any pots anymore. Yeah, he's back into. I will probably just back as well then. Just do the same. Don't think Nuwa is taking this, so I'm taking it.
Enemy missing right. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Nice job.
As cunning as a fox.
Thank you. An ally has been slain.
I wanted to Sunder him, but don't think it was gonna kill. I think it would have been a waste. Well. Oh, he ulted. Well, that's not good. I screwed that one up, but at least I got his blink. Do they have they have 5 combat blinks? It feels old school. I played that one terribly. Yeah, I have no words. I'm warming up.
Ultimate is down.
But that was not good. I also honestly expected Loki to go in earlier. And I don't know. Oh, dude, I just realized I was tanking because I had red buff. The red buff was still taken on him. So that's on my end. That's kind of stupid.
I'll be back, eh? I'll be back, eh?
That's just silly on me. I was wondering why I got the aggro in the first place for not hitting him.
Enemies in the right jungle. An enemy has been slain.
You are intense.
Thank you. Enemy missing right.
No problem.
Oh no, Fenrir's still lurking around. Most of all, I do not want to fall behind in this matchup.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Doing actually pretty decent damage, all things considered. It's not bad damage for not having a full item yet.
Ultimate is down.
I'll take the poke, and when he backs, it's good for me. So we can lose that wave. Hey Benji. Hope you're having a nice day. Let's just get power.
Has been slain.
And a single ward. I just hope the team... my team is doing really well here. But I'm playing Hades, and I won't be online for a little while. I hope the enemy team doesn't surrender. I want to play this out.
Attack the gold fury.
Enemy missing right. Your right tower is under attack.
Enemy missing left.
Be careful. Ultimate is ready.
Odin rotated. Curious.
An ally has been slain. Okay. Please. Has been slain.
Kill him.
Slain an enemy. An enemy has been slain.
A bit messy. They just almost all died before I even got there. Oh, the second I got there, hero was just dead, so... that was a bit awkward. Unfortunate we didn't get the Fenrir. But at least we got something. Nice day, bad games. Yeah. Yeah, that tends to happen. That still fucks with me. The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury. Except it was my team.
Has arrived.
Every time I keep thinking it's getting stolen. Dude, Odin loves going mid. Defend your waves, buddy. Farm is good, you know?
Slain an enemy. Slain an enemy. Oh, yeah! An ally has been slain.
Really?
As cunning as a fox.
An enemy.
That worked out better than I expected. I feel like I should have died there. The kills we got were nice, but I definitely should have died. The wave came in clutch. Grouping up nicely for me there. That's solo in almost every game today for some reason. It's fine, just pick Odin. Just pick Odin, you'll be fine. I actually bought the wrong item. Well, not the wrong item necessarily, but just in the wrong order. Dude, where is... Did Odin just not want to be here anymore? Oh no, I hear him on
Your
blue
middle
buff.
tower is under attack. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Oh, Maya Rifi! Attack fire giant! An ally has been slain.
No wonder Odin is so squishy to me. He went mystical mail. This man is building physical defense against me. That usually doesn't work against Hades.
An ally has been slain.
Oh no. I'm getting the feeling that we're losing fights now when I'm not there. I don't like it.
Unstoppable. An enemy has been slain.
I had the same issue with Fenrir yesterday. I dashed at the same time as I died to Fenrir Brutalize, and I was just unable to play the game anymore. I was literally just, every time I died, I would spawn where I died. So that glitch still exists, and it's so annoying. Because it's literally game breaking. You cannot play the game anymore. No matter what you do, you're unable to play the game.
Enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
So I think Fenrir needs to be removed again. Unless it's not tied to Fenrir. It could also just be being tied to dying while you're jumping. Because it happened to me in Bacchus as well. But both times it was Fenrir killing me. Though I'm pretty sure one was Brutalize. Well, yesterday was Brutalize. I don't remember if the first time was Brutalize as well. But no matter the case, there seems to be a problem if you die if you die while jumping. It might just be dying while jumping, that's the issue. Oh, he's so low.
Attack fire giant. Follow me.
We're gonna do the big one. We're gonna do the big one.
Battle, my children.
An ally has been slain.
I don't know, man. The problem with Firegiant this early is how squishy everyone is. No one can tank this. Oh, they surrendered. Loki was gonna die to fire there. Because for some reason it leached to him instead of me. Not sure why I did that. And then once again, I'll give it 5 minutes. I don't want to wait much longer than that while streaming. Let me see. Is the big queue still going? Oh, I think they just got out of game. Is that right? Interesting. Might actually get into the game then. No, they just found... Oh, Nika just found a match. Well, that sucks. And mine did not pop. So unless there is a second queue going, I'm not getting in. It's funny, Slythem. I don't think anyone has recognized me as Gamehunter from Torpedo before. Torpedo isn't usually what I'm known for. But I'm glad to see you recognize me. Alright, I'm going back to the other queue here. But yeah, who are you in the game? Were you on the enemy team or the on my team? Oh, the Chuck, I see. Yeah, you were adventuring that game. I noticed. Uh-oh. Give me solo. Alright. No solo for me. Yeah, the Odin just... Yeah, he never had any pots. He had a ward too. And if he's got a ward, that means he had to give up pots for that. So... He also did not place said ward, it was just in his inventory. So, I'm not sure what he was planning. No, my jungle is kind of trash. I don't want to do that. Man, there are really just no fucking ADCs in this game. I don't even know what I want to play. Well, they picked Jingwei, so I definitely want to be an aggressive early god. Yeah, I'll just do on her then. On her it is. Damn. Radiant Anubis. That's a first. Man, do I really need beats? I probably do. I won't. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too long of a fucking cooldown.
Hi.
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 I feel like out of all the gods, Anhur's the one that changed the most. Like, they really went ham on, like, let's just change how he looks and how he moves. Like, he's just completely new. But he's also a very old god, because I'm pretty sure Anhur was the 21st god, or like the 20th god, something like that, if I remember correctly. Like, he's a very, very old god. But even then, so was, like, it says technically Kukulkan, but like he was changed as well, because he was originally Alquang. But then they changed his model when he became Kukulkan. Anubis, though, actually. Anubis is a good one. Anubis was an original, an OG. He was already out when I started playing, and I started playing when there was only 18 gods.
An enemy has been slain.
Unfortunately, he got level 2 there, but at least we got the Jingwei.
Slain an enemy.
Whoa.
Slain an enemy. Where the shifting sands.
Oof. You go, Ares. Yeah, I'm just gonna get off. That was kind of close.
An enemy has been slain.
That's still up. Close.
Beware the shifting sands.
Damn, if I had level 2 Impale there, she actually would have died. Nah, Ares can take this if he wants it. This thing hurts. That was an interesting jump, I will admit. I respect the balls, but I don't think it was a good idea.
An enemy has been slain. Slain an enemy.
Ares yoinked my buff. I'll just back. Which opinion is Smite 2? I think Smite 2 has a lot of potential, but it definitely has too many bugs, for sure. Too many bugs, and it definitely lacks gods. The god variety sucks. But I think the best way I can put it is that it has a lot of potential. I can see it being very good in like a year. But it's definitely in a rough state. I have a hard time recommending people to buy Smite 2 at the moment, unless they really enjoy Smite. It's just right now, playing Smite 2 over Smite 1 isn't really, like, it's not an upgrade right now. But I think it will be in the future.
Has been slain. Beware the shifting sands. You have slain an enemy.
Okay, dude.
Shifting sands. Your middle tower is under attack.
I'm not gonna be able to kill him. No, I'm bad. I'm so bad.
Your left tower is under attack.
I'm so bad. I should have saved my jump for when she ulted rather than just... Yeah, that's so... I'm annoyed. That was bad. They both got out with 1 HP. That's tragic.
Your right tower.
Yeah, that's just good marketing. Probably improve the competitive scene. Yeah, I think they work on the competitive scene at the moment. I think I agree with you on the marketing stuff. I don't think they should market it super highly until the game is in a good state, though. You want people to see it when it's in a good state. You don't want people to see it in the current state, I think, because they're not helping the game in that way. People need to try it when it's in a good state.
An ally has been slain.
Otherwise, it's just silly. People will try it, not like it, and never come back. That's just how people work. I was trying not to ult. I just had to catch up, but I kind of moved like an idiot. Ares, rotate, man.
Attack the gold fury. Please.
Oh my god. Ares is not playing bad, but this man is not rotating at all.
Your back.
Okay.
Slain an enemy. Attack the gold fury. Slain an enemy. Divine. Double kill.
I'm not being helped here. We can probably do gold.
Beware the shifting sands.
I have shell. They come in here.
Team has destroyed the gold fury.
Oh, and Loki does have Sunder too. Makes sense why he's calling it then.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I mean, Smite 1 was good with competitive in the beginning, I think. The problem was when they gave up on the EU scene. Smite 1 had incredibly nice competitive, I would say. But around season, what, like 5? Something like that, they removed the EU scene and then only went in NA. I think that's when Smite slowly began running downhill.
Pyromancer has arrived. Your left
I don't know what prompted the decision though of stopping it in EU. Like I don't know if in their heads like EU was dying at the time. I think they just wanted to. Actually, no. I think I probably do know. They wanted to make it a bit more like central because if everyone was in NA and more local, they could like host events much easier and wouldn't have to pay for all the EU players to go there and all that stuff. Probably just a lot more. Just a lot cheaper for them, while still kind of getting the same result. But I think they overestimated how many, I guess, how much passion that would be lost by them doing that. From the EU side of things.
an ally has been slain.
So many people in EU just kind of lost any interest in competitive play or like playing the game anymore because they were trying to go competitive.
Your right tower is under attack.
Alright, I need to try and push this tower out. I have such a big lead. I feel like I'm not really using it for anything out right now.
Beware the shifting sands. Has been slain. Shifting sands. An enemy has been slain. Slain an enemy.
I should have played that alright. I think most of my poke was taken from the minions though. Sad. I could have played that much better. I do not know why I got a double jump. Didn't I jump twice? I think I jumped twice. Why did I get the double jump? What's the cooldown? I can't tell, because it's bugged for me.
An enemy has been slain.
Attack the Gold Fury!
The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury. Your left tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Honor kind of popped off a bit here. But Honor is very good into Jingwei early too. Jingwei just doesn't fight back very well. Like, it's kind of the same thing with Smite 1, right? Jingwei's just not good early. She's very good late because of the crit.
Your middle tower is under attack. Gank middle lane.
Oh, they just surrendered anyway. Interesting. Notice that builds X second item after the crit nerf, so just full attack speed it seems. Yeah, it makes sense, because right now we're kind of entering a tank meta. So, I can see some ADCs definitely running some early pen because of that. I do actually want to get some elite ranked in though. I'm so tired today. I'm actually so tired. I was thinking I maybe didn't even want to stream. Wait, that was an early elite ranked. The fuck? What the fuck? Forgot I Aegis in the first gank. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man. Honestly, I kind of forgot I had Shell most of the time as well. I'm pretty sure my Shell, I died with Shell up in that last fight as well. I don't think I used my Shell once that game. I'm not used to having Shell and Honor. Hades casual ranked. Yeah, they're kind of a coin flip on what's gonna happen. But yeah, as I was saying, like with my internet being fucky, as well as me just being tired, I was debating on whether I even wanted to stream today. But I know I'm not streaming tomorrow because of the tournament. So, and I didn't do it yesterday because of my internet being stupid. Um, yeah, I don't want to deal with the Odin, so I'm just gonna pick it. But yeah, right now I don't know if I don't think I'm burned out on streaming, but I am definitely just not in the mood to stream a lot of the time right now. I think I'm just too busy with stuff outside of streaming right now that I feel like streaming needs to come in as it's like a fun hobby, like fuck yeah, time to play some Smite and talk to people type thing. But right now I'm almost treating it like something I have to. I don't want to do that. And there's so much shit like constant renovation. I thought the renovation was done, like completely. But next week they're working on something new in my apartment, meaning I can't use my bathroom again for a week. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. that I might actually just say I won't stream for a little while until all this shit is fixed, because I feel like I need it out. I just need it out of my life. It's like my comfort zone is being invaded all the time by fucking workers. It's not really my choice either, you know? It's just renovation bullshit that has to take place. Yeah, what they're doing with the renovation shit, it's like they keep finding new shit to renovate. It wouldn't even bother me that bad if it wasn't because it was literally my bathroom and my kitchen. I can't use the water in those places while they're working because they're disconnecting it all. And so I have to use the bathroom outside, which is essentially like just, I mean, it's a public bathroom, right? That you just kind of put up temporarily. So it's not like I can't do anything about it. It's just really fucking annoying. It's just annoying. So without making it like depressing or anything, I am in a bit of a bad mood at the moment, just on a daily basis. I'm just tired of it, and I feel like that is bothering me to the point where I'm not really in the mood to stream, and I'm still forcing myself to stream, which is a stupid idea.
Odin.
Like I do want to play Smite 2 as well, and the whole point is also just if I'm gonna play, I might as well stream, right? Especially if I'm planning on doing it for a few hours. But at the same time, it's more relaxing for me not to stream. I just not think about anything, like just, I don't know, sit in silence, look at my wall, waiting for the queue to pop type shit. When I'm streaming, I kind of have to, you know, I have to be aware, I have to look at the chat, like interact with people, try and make it somewhat entertaining, like use more energy than I necessarily have. I'm not the biggest entertainer. I'm not. I don't have the energy for that shit. Who am I against? A Daki Ymir, is that it? So yeah, I'd have to spend more energy than I think most people do while streaming. I think streaming for a lot of people is just kind of it's like it's chill compared to work, right? But for me, it's just this isn't work for me. Like this is just supposed to be a hobby and have fun with it. But I also need to be in the mood for that stuff. Like you don't do a hobby if you don't feel like doing that hobby, right? That's kind of what it is for me. I do want to clarify though, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't want to be here right now. I am simply saying that I need to readjust my mindset and don't stream if I'm not in the mood for it. Because I definitely do want to play Smite right now. I'm very into Smite too. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I also gotta be careful not to play it too much though, because it does get very samey with the low god pull. But it probably will mean that for the next, probably like, I would probably say 2 weeks, I won't be streaming as much. Like I won't try to do it every day because of the renovation coming back. And no one is more pissed about it than me. But I also don't want to stream if I'm in a bad mood. Because I just don't really feel like talking when I'm in a bad mood. I don't think I'll burn out on Smite, honestly.
King of my desire.
Screw you, Ducky! What do you mean? What are you invading for? Go away, man. And some horse shit. You deserve that. You do.
Cancelled.
I don't want to deal with this shit. It's unfortunate wall.
Keep up the relentless assault.
Classic Smite 2 wall.
Enemies in left lane.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Oh, is that why? Oh, it's Hazer underneath. No wonder they invaded. You fuckers. Alright. You deserve what's coming to you for trying to steal my blue buff. Crazy, crazy people. Doom, you...
Behind us.
I wanted that red buff so badly.
Enemies in middle lane.
Fucking Hazer stealing my blue buff.
Enemies incoming right. Enemies incoming right. Break a leg.
Enemy missing left.
Retreat.
There are no mistakes in war. Just the ebb and flow of battle.
Luckily, I have a pretty good matchup here. Why is there a low Bacchus in my lane?
Your middle tower is under attack.
I am sad that I was not able to finish that off. Any ability would have done it.
Enemy missing middle.
It's devil gloves. This man is building lifesteal. What active does she have? Blink.
Enemy missing left.
Enemy ultimate incoming. Retreat right lane.
Not risking that again. I'm centering that shit.
Has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Your skills are truly impressive.
Damn it! You fucker. Oh, okay, dude.
Enemy missing middle.
Yes!
I'm just good. Okay, dude. Absolute cheese sticks.
Yes.
An enemy has been slain.
A warrior never apologizes.
An
A
enemy
warrior
has been
never
slain.
apologizes.
Well done.
Nice job.
We didn't get Jameer though, which is unfortunate, but we were also a man down in that situation.
Enemy missing left.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
A warrior never apologizes.
Yes.
I lived. I don't believe it. I knew I shouldn't have jumped. I wanted to try anyway, but I don't. I need to stop jumping in front of Ymir. I needed to get out of his ult if he ever uses it. Oof. Oh, do I have voice turned off? I do.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
I don't know why I had it turned off.
Your left
No wonder I haven't been able to hear any of my
Your
teammates.
skills are truly impressive.
Enemy missing left.
Cancelled.
I'm away to Ymir. Oh, it doesn't work. Yeah, good knockout.
Break my boat. Have fun now.
I'm on it.
Oh. Not a bait this time. They actually did get gold.
Help! Help!
suck.
An ally has returned.
I should have had him right there no matter what. I didn't predict the quick explosion.
We'll get them in the next battle.
I'm bad. Still mad I never did the great Odini skin. That's true, yeah. They actually didn't. But there's so many meme skins as well that they did put in, you know? Like the Thanatos, they put in the
The pyromancer has arrived.
there's like at least the 3 other like meme skins. I forgot all of them. I actually just forgot all of them. The Meatball Vulcan they put in. So yeah, yeah. I do like that they're putting in those
Enemy ultimate incoming.
those skins.
Be careful left.
Battle, my children!
Anytime, friend.
That was a tactical miscalculation.
Enemy ultimate down.
Enemies incoming left! I shall protect you!
If I had mana, I would have been more willing to go in there.
A warrior never apologizes.
That is unfortunate.
Trash.
I'm going for Hussar's Wings in this one. They have a lot of slows that I don't want to deal with. Though most of them come from Ymir.
Your left tower is under attack.
Damn it, I'm taking this first.
Enemies incoming right.
An ally has been slain.
Cancelled.
I think...
Yes.
On my way.
On my way.
Don't want the creeps to see me. Oh man, no one's seeing me.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Oh no. No. Oh man. If Honor can get, just kill the Ymir, man. Get the Ymir. He's a problem. Oh, good impel.
An ally has been slain.
Oh, bad jump.
My fury.
Oh no. Dude, he's healing as well. Oh no. This is not good. Oh. Dude. No, man. What was that, team? What the fuck? I don't believe that just happened, man. I can't believe it. Dude, after that, I'm definitely not surrendering. Screw that.
Ultimate is down.
Also, they're both pretty far behind. Well, I'm taking this now. I don't want to give this a Jing away again. Well, unless Loki wants it. I think Loki should have it. Like, me and Athena set that up perfectly. They were all so low. He did get Bacchus though over the honor, so I mean, it's not like he got nothing.
Your right tower is under attack.
Enemy missing
The
left.
enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
Fun now.
Your middle tower is under
Retreat.
attack.
On my way.
Oh, where are they? We need some vision, man. Let's kill the Bacchus. Dude, oh my god. So no one can kill the Ymir, it feels like. Actually, I also just realized we full physical, again. Why people go physical, I will never understand. Ymir is building full physical defense, man. We won't be able to kill him. And they have... Damn it, I hate this. It actually low-key triggers me when people do this. I'm definitely getting this. Oh. Oh. Oh, dude.
An ally has been slain.
This is the first time it's my 2 in the elite queue that I'm getting a little triggered by my team here. This is not good. But yeah, I can elaborate on what I'm saying as well. One of the problems right now, it seems like people don't care about going full physical.
Your middle tower is
But
under attack.
the tank physical protection items are much better than the magical ones right now. So if a tank is allowed to build only physical defense, he can get all the good shit. And it's really fucking annoying and bad if you're allowed to do that for the enemy team. It's not good.
Ultimate is down.
An enemy has been slain.
It's a certified terrible, terrible time. Well, that's the most unnecessary Loki ult I've seen in a while. Could've just killed him, man.
Have fun now.
It's fine, though. Probably just did it to make sure. Hey, Jack, good to see you, man. I mean, for ranked, I do agree that Hunters are better in mid. For the most part. Like, in competitive, you see Hecate being much better at the moment. Hecate is so highly valued for so many teams. But if you mean purely the laning phase, I agree with you. Team fighting, I don't agree. I need to buy more wards. I've been slacking on my ward buying. Yeah, they have a lot of damage, man. And they got a lot of CC. If Bacchus gets a stun on someone, they're gonna get Nuwa comboed as well as Ymir frozen. They have an incredibly good pick-off comp.
Retreat middle lane.
Did a thing though.
Has been slain. Your middle tower.
Dude, what the hell? What? Someone's damaged me. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what our ADCs are actually doing. Well, like, what is Jingwen on her doing? Why are they so out of position and dying?
Your middle tower is under attack. Has been destroyed.
Like, on her was way up in their face for some reason.
Group up. Attack! Lead us to victory.
Destroyed the fire giant.
Retreat.
Killing spree.
That's fine. Just gotta get out. I don't think they're killing me with Fire Giant. Actually, I'm getting this instead. Let's get Purification.
I'll forge our path to victory, to glory.
Riley Jim, I feel like you're a bot. You have a bot. You have bot energy. Your message is meant to be vague. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Enemies
Be
of the Dawn
careful.
Fury. Retreat.
Retreat left lane.
Yes.
This is a normal goal. We don't care about this anyway.
Hell mustn't fall.
Okay.
Retreat.
I really don't think they can actually kill me with fire.
Battle, my children. Taking aim. Prepare to attack.
You're right.
Now, retreat.
Like, you're doing a lot of shit for me here, but like, I don't know. This could just be me. I feel like we should be fighting right now. We have Fire Giant. My team does not understand the weight of how good Fire Giant is right now. It feels like we could easily fight them right there. They used everything on me, and I wish I could tell them, but my communication system is broken because I turned it on during this game, so I can't talk to them.
Your right tower.
I wish I could tell them. But dude, the Baka Shamir frontline is definitely tough, because it feels like we can't kill them at all with the protection. With them only having physical protection. I feel like that's what's losing us the game at the moment.
Be right back.
Should replace my sentry before I'm back. I mean, considering Riley didn't say anything back, you can just ban it, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a bot. About to make this queue very unsafe.
Enemies at the fire giant. I will ward.
Anytime, friend.
Attack fire giant.
Not call attention to it.
Under attack.
Very, very, very good for us.
On my way.
Yeah, no, we can definitely agree. Like, nerfing both at the same time was a pretty stupid buffing, and nerfing at the same time in general is a bad idea. We can all agree on that. It is very strange.
Attack middle lane.
Okay.
I also think one of the issues is that they have to buff some of the pen items. If they wanted, like, this could have worked if they also then buffed pen items.
Middle enemy tower.
They don't have any shell.
Enemy tower.
Okay.
Rampage. You have slain.
Of my desire.
Nice. We can definitely still push up left if we wanted to. We do need to push up left either way. It's pushing down. I feel like Kins is the most meme item in the history of Smite in its current state. It's pretty rough, yeah. I don't think it's in the history of Smite. There's been some real bad fucking items. But yeah, it's a bit rough at the moment. Sure.
Tower is under attack.
A warrior never apologizes.
Anytime, friend.
We got one kill, we can just get off.
Retreat, retreat.
Well done.
Yes.
That's good. We just had to make sure we got a 1. Honor got wrecked by the Blink Ymir ult there. At least he got out.
Enemy spotted. I will
I'm pressing the wrong button. I screwed up. Dude, I was pressing G again. I was looking for the Q button because I was trying to not get CC'd. I'm still not used to the active item buttons yet. I was spamming my G button because that's the first one.
Cold fury.
Having 2 of them confuses me still. That would have been fine. I think I could have picked up Neath still. It wasn't terrible overall though. Like I was still able to just... I was so close. Alright. Super well done by my team here. Carry me. Good fucking pillar. She's still around.
Pyromancer has arrived.
It is not looking good though. Bacchus ult made me miss.
Your left is under attack.
Enemies have
Attack right lane.
Right enemy
Retreat.
Probably could have ended overall if we looked for a pick, but without tanks being half HP both, I feel like we don't want to take that risk.
Thanks. Your right tower.
Be careful in the jungle.
Well, that is very bad. Why is Bacchus chasing me?
Be your shield.
That couldn't have been any better.
well done.
Be careful.
Is he actually gonna end? That's so close. Yeah, there's nothing for me to buy. I have everything. I should never have gotten that fire, man. I was expecting the freeze. I missed my 3. I was like, I'm doomed. You missed, gonna freeze me now. He didn't freeze. I got my jump off in time. Into the perfect Sunder. Against their 2 Sunders. They might have been down though. We did just fight.
Enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
I'm sticking the red buff. Like, now that I have fire again, I don't think they're killing me. Unless they're all 5, then I will die.
Group up.
Okay.
Gank middle lane.
Oh, unfortunate Ymir position.
Behind him.
An ally has been slain.
I mean, team, what are we doing here?
Has arrived. slain.
What has been happening?
Be
Been here
careful,
long
right?
enough.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy phoenix.
Your skills are truly impressive. Battle.
Alright. Well done, team. It's probably the dumbest win I've had in Smite 2 so far. Fire Giant is actually stupid. 37 worshippers. Worth it. Get Fire as Odin, be unkillable. Yeah, nice one ending the game, man. Because I wasn't really able to get in there. They were always just running after me. Jesus Christ, what a game. It was certainly a game. Yeah. Absolutely one of the games of all time, that one. I almost got a headache just off of this game. I feel like I'm on the verge of a headache. I was so focused. Running around and jumping. I mean, my jungle is atrocious. So I'm kind of hoping for a swappy here. Alright, thank you very much, Moppy. I mean, my jungle is still really bad, but if he doesn't want to give it away... what is happening? We're trading or not? We're trading a lot. Alright. I'll do it one last time, then I'm not gonna do it anymore. Thank you. I don't wanna... I'm not a jungler. I'll say it. If I have to jungle, I'll jungle. But expect me to go Thanatos. And expect me to be confused on where to go for like the first 15 minutes. I'm just not a born jungler.
The trade thing is broken, but you can go jungle if
Wait, can you hear me? No, okay. I don't want to jungle. I don't think I can talk in here. It seems to be muted. I don't want to jungle. Can you hear me? Test, can you hear me? No, no, no. It's gonna be Susano or Loki solo. Though I suppose it could be a Susano ADC. I'm dealing with Nuwa every game. I'm tired of dealing with Nuwa. She's so annoying to deal with as a frontliner. Because it's hard to avoid her shit. I have to take those crystals to the face. Okay. Pretty much the same people in this game. Is that going to be an Ares solo, though? Yo, can you hear me now?
Yes, sure can.
Hello, young one.
Oh, hey, fam.
That's great. Alright, good to know it works in game.
Is Transcendence still good?
What do you say?
Is Transcendence still good? Or do
Yeah.
I, since they nerfed it, or do I buy something else?
Yeah, trans should be fine.
Alright.
You're very quiet, by the way, Moppy. You might want to try and turn up your mic.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
I turned it down because people kept saying like I was way too loud.
It is
think
maybe
you're
a
good
little
now.
too loud, to be fair. Can you? Is there like a middle ground?
Minions have spawned.
Is this better?
Maybe
Oh, yeah,
down a
like
bit
butter,
more?
like butter in my ears.
It's like tickling my brain. It's a little much.
A fitting end.
I would say he's not louder than you, by the way, Gamehunter.
This?
Oh,
I know
really?
he's louder than me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can turn myself down if it's bad.
Nah, it isn't for me.
You guys need to catch up.
It's Nua's solo, by the way, so it should be pretty easy to gank.
Yes.
Okay.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice job.
Savage.
Enemy spotted.
Have fun now.
Into blood.
On my way.
Better below protocol.
Slain an enemy.
Neath no backflip still.
Such a sad state of affairs.
No. You are no match. Into blood. Enemy.
I'm glad I got him early. Because otherwise this matchup might actually be pretty annoying for me as Mordred.
Enemies in the left jungle.
Go easy on me, will you? No. No, I will not. I'll do my very best, especially because I'm playing Mordred, and this will be terrible. Because Mordred's just kind of low-key ass.
Be right back.
That was my beads.
Enemy spotted.
He's from behind the bush as well, isn't he?
Your middle tower is under attack.
Unfortunate. I was hoping to at least bait something out, but it's too fucking easy to juke the ultimate.
They're going up. I'm pretty strong. Loki here. Loki, yeah. Ares is about to ult me. Ares need ults.
Has been slain. An enemy.
I'm so easy for Susano as well if it ends up visiting me.
Loki ult.
An enemy has been slain.
The sun's hitting my screen.
Your left tower is under attack.
Much better. I can finally see again.
An enemy has been slain.
So you are capable of something.
I sense your fear.
Returning to base.
Sense of blood. Slain an enemy. Killing spree.
What active does he have? He's not using it. Oh, he's got Sunder. Huh. Well, that's risky as a mage in solo.
An ally has been slain. Death follows close.
Forward, my
Enemy to the right jungle.
He's on his way, be careful.
Enemy missing middle.
Yeah,
You
just
can go for blue if you want.
no, just get out, get out. They're rotating from it.
Look, Ares rotating to mid from left. Ares will be behind you in mid, be careful.
careful middle.
Slain an enemy.
Guys?
On
He
my
fell.
way.
I'm gonna take the risk and get this tower.
do gold. We come gold.
Oh, sorry.
I do not dare.
I can
You
rotate
run
over
it
if you need me.
around. You can run it around if you want to take no damage, man. Nah, we're good without you, I think. Oh, never mind. Everybody's dying. We're just gonna do this. We'll get gold. Never mind.
Loki's on his way, be careful. I'm just backing.
No vision on Noah, but I can do some waves and rotate over if you want to force a fight. I'm pretty big.
An ally has been slain.
Such a sad state of affairs.
An enemy. Rampage. Is under attack. An ally has been
I
slain.
do not dare.
I'm Whoops. over it.
Your left tower is under attack.
I'll attack left lane.
An ally has been slain.
I'm gonna TP top, just chase them if we can.
I'll just waste his time for now. Never mind, I'm going in.
Towers under
Enemy
attack.
missing middle.
Death follows close. Slain an enemy.
Enemy spotted.
Slain.
Nice.
We do gold?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let's go for it. I have Sunder as well.
Way.
Destroyed the gold fury. An
Enemy
ally
ultimate
has
down.
been slain. Scent of blood. Your right tower is under attack.
No vision on Noah. She might have done our buffs.
Your right tower is under attack. I sense your fear. Your destiny fuels. Slain an enemy. Unstoppable.
I can bait myself here.
I'm pretty sure they see us.
Scent of blood.
Enemies incoming left.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I'm coming over as well. Susanna's behind you guys.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
missing middle.
That's neat help.
I'm away mid.
On my way.
An ally has been slain.
Such a sad state of affairs.
An enemy has been slain. Your middle tower.
Down.
An enemy has left the game.
Uh-oh. Hey, sir, what did you do to him?
He zoned 1 million waves, and I can only assume that he felt so much shame at not being ahead that he had to leave.
Understandable.
Loki ult. Loki Sunder. He's very low HP.
The All-Father approves.
5 left, maybe? Could do gold.
Immortal.
No, he interrupted me.
You have been slain.
I sure this backed. I got greedy. What's my chair stuck on? Damn it! I'm so salty about that, and my chair is stuck on something. Fixed. I'll do shifters. I'm sad I died to something stupid like that. I wanted to bait him in, and also to... He did way more damage to me than I actually expected, but I also forgot that I didn't have a whole lot of protection against Susano yet. I would have been fine with my build now. I should have just backed.
It's time for the All-Father to show them the beauty of strength.
On my way.
We can do the Naga here.
No vision on Nua.
Going in mid, let's fight.
Enemy spotted.
I'm rotating over, I've held up.
Has been slain.
So sorry. Let's not call it
You want 1 HP? She went left. She's alive.
I don't believe it.
They all lived.
I got one at least. Oh, dude, Bluestone sucks. Nerf, it needs buff.
Your left tower is under attack.
Dude, what an unfortunate fight. How did they all get out with 1 HP? Oh my god. Was it Shell as well? It might have been Shell, but dude. That's tragic. That's actually tragic. I think I'm getting Hussar's Wings just for the movement speed buff. I can chase people a bit easier with that. Clean, man.
Hit everything. Finish one and then I'll come.
Is under attack.
Okay.
Ally has been slain.
On my way. You are no match.
Enemy spotted.
Loki stealth.
Are they on gold?
Going on Odin. No, they're not on it. Not on
Your
it.
left tower is under attack.
Loki ult. On my way.
I'm
Okay,
TPing
I'm
over.
dead.
An ally has been slain. Your middle tower is under attack.
That's Nefield, by the way. And Loki ult.
Coming to you. You got a mez?
Just do gold here.
Yeah, on my way.
So Sano has to back.
Team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
Be right back. Enemy missing left.
Your right tower is under attack.
We could go fire here. Let's. Do we have Sunder?
I don't know. Ymir should have it up, right?
Attack fire giant. On my way. Attack fire giant.
Someone just did red.
On my way.
DPS fire. Should be free.
Yeah, no one's close.
On it back.
Someone come do the Naga with me.
On my way.
Actually, I could just do it. It's fine. Good shit. Yeah, I do a lot of damage to this thing. I'm full tank. Fucking Fire Giant, man. Fire Giant is absolutely disgusting.
On my way.
Looking for Susano.
Killing spree.
Attack left lane.
Yeah, push up mid and left.
Scent of blood.
And right's pushing on its own, so that's nice.
Enemy spotted. Ultimate is down.
I can cage me in like 5 seconds.
That's my ult, but I'm out.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
And manipulate.
Enemies incoming.
Alright, good game, guys.
It's over.
No way that knockoff on Loki was intentional, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Nah.
It's Hazer, man. Always intentional.
Yeah, I knew he was there. You think I don't read that?
Alright, GG's.
GG's, guys. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, another DC. That's unfortunate. Yeah, the Neath DC was pretty roughly timed. All right. I'm gonna stop here because I'm just way too fucking tired. I'm so fucking tired. I'm starting to get a headache as a result of it because I'm focusing so hard on some of these games. So I'll end while it's still fun. Or I guess before I get a headache, to put it differently. So sorry for the short stream, but yeah, I'm going through a bit of an annoying, stressful time at the moment, so I don't want to overdo it. But thank you guys for watching as always. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time, which is not tomorrow because there's tournament, but probably